Do you feel like there's something more than just a shoddy investigation going on here? That there's maybe a vendetta at work or something? I mean, Kartel had a very well-known disagreement with a former police officer and promoter shortly before he was arrested.
I have heard that before.
Yeah.
I think that because of really how the cases have been progressing, I think that you could definitely draw that conclusion. I can't say one way or the other what the problem is or where it's coming from, but I think that looking at how the cases have been compiled and looking at how they have progressed, particularly with the witnesses in this case, I would say that there is an ulterior motive. There is something behind what the police are doing, and quite frankly, for me, if you don't like the way he looks or you don't like the music he sings, that's one thing, but don't try to keep a man in custody in order to almost censor his image and his music. I don't think that's right.
And from this point, what would you say is the timetable?
We're to go to court again in November for the other matter, but I think we will seek an earlier date to see if we can get bail for him.
And when you say seek an earlier date, would there be any kind of sense in your mind as to when that would be?
Only because it will take a couple of weeks to put the documents together and to try and get the date. But anywhere between like 3 and 4 weeks is kind of what we'll be looking at.
Okay.
So he'll not make Sunfest.
So how is he?
He's good. You didn't see the description that he's fat. He has gotten fat.
So the food in jail is good?
Well, apparently, I guess because he's now resting. From what they were saying, he's known to work long hours, so I think he's resting and eating properly. So.
Can you comment at all on the multitude of songs that have been released between the time that he was taken into custody until now? Of the veracity of those being recorded between those times?
I don't know of any of them being recorded whilst he has been in custody, because I think that would be illegal.
Yes.
But I think that as with any prolific artist, there would be a lot of material that would be catalogued that they would seek to release over a period of time, or work that he has done with other producers that may not be known to, sort of mainstream. When if you look at a lot of those guys like Tupac and Biggie, their songs were being released. Songs still are being released, remixes and stuff like that. So I think that it's really just a sign of him being a dominant and prolific artist.
What did he say when the verdict was announced? Did you have a conversation with him?
No, I think just an ear-to-ear grin is really what we got. So.
And what sort of support did he have in court and outside court? What was the scene like there?
The biggest I've ever seen. So it's good. His fans are still hanging in there.
I understand there's a statement of some kind that he's made. Is that
a statement?
Yeah.
I believe there is a press release from him. Very short document which speaks for itself. So.
We look forward to hearing that.
Cool.
All right.
Yes, questions?
I guess you don't have to repeat since they are majority. But in terms of the case for November, does the prospects look good?
We thought initially that the case that we just completed was the more difficult of the two cases because there was a purported IC witness. So as far as we are concerned, the highest mountain is now behind us.
Having been in communication with Kartel since the beginning to now, how do you think Adidja Palmer, the individual, has been changed as opposed to how do you think that what do you think it would mean for Vybz Kartel, the artist?
I think that's a question better directed to him.
towards him? Well, from what you've seen.
I think that there's a lot of frustration towards the system, and he feels that, you know, he really should be given a fair shake, at a fair trial, and that's kind of where, you know, our head was originally, and I think that, you know, as with anybody, you know, you spend 3 years in custody, it must affect you, you know, but I suspect that you will hear it in his music when he's offered bail.
Okay. Is he being given special treatment in lockup?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. There was a situation last month where he was taken to the KPH.
Right.
What exactly was it that he was affected by?
It appears that he was having some chest pains, and he went and did an X-ray and a basic checkup. It seems that all is well.
Okay. And how can fans support him while he's in lockup? I mean, people have been coming to the court, but have they been disruptive or anything outside or causing any problem outside? Like what?
Not that I'm aware of. I did see an article that spoke of some incident outside, but I wasn't there, so I don't know what that is about. But I think that what he would really want from his fans is to just stay positive and continue supporting him and his music.
Alright, thank you.
Cool.
Awesome.
Anyone else? We're done? Okay. You did say something about the police. Or
Next week.
What?
said that he was having some issues with police treatment or something like that you wanted to speak about. Is that not?
With, you mean with the identification of the witness?
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. Alright.
Yeah.
So then we're good.
So essentially what we're saying is here you have a statement from somebody who says that they witnessed this crime. And there's no record of them anywhere.
Right, they
so
don't
what it
attribute-
really suggests is that there is some malfeasance on behalf of the police.
Fabric.
I mean, who is this person? And I think to date we haven't been able to ascertain that. So the question really is, why is it that the state would allow the police to operate in that way while the man is in custody? If there is concerns about that and it's raised and it's legitimate, offer him bail and you can iron it out. It's not, logically, it doesn't make sense, how they're proceeding.
Didn't I read a week or two ago that there was some testimony in court from people who either had heard something or, not an eyewitness per se, but I read a story that there was some person in court giving testimony.
The procedure would be that the investigating officer, who is the one that had taken the statements from these witnesses, he would start to give his evidence.
Okay,
So the
the
case would have
officer.
started,
Okay.
and halfway through, he would say, I cannot find witness A and witness B.
Mm.
And what you would enter into is a voir dire, which really equates to a trial within a trial. So you would stop his testimony, and he would then give evidence as to steps that he has taken to try and find these witnesses.
Okay.
So that is the stage that we had reached, where the judge said, essentially, that you haven't done what you need to do.
So the testimony was made by a police officer, not by any actual witness.
Right,
working in the court.
right.
Okay.
So he would just be considered like a formal witness. He would be the one that would have investigated the matter, take statements from witnesses,
I see.
that sort of thing.
There's another person in lockup with Kartel. Everything that goes for Kartel now, is it the same thing with that individual?
Which person? Sean
Oh.
Storm?
Is it Sean Storm?
Mhm.
That's
No, because he's not charged in this case. He wasn't charged, he's in the other one. So November again is when he would come to court.
and I guess